So welcome. As we start welcoming each other with the words Hine Matov, they mean how good it is for brothers and sisters to be together. Yet even in the Hebrew, we acknowledge that those words are limiting. So tonight as we sing Hine Matov, we're going to use the word kulam, including us all here together. We're going to begin on page 10 in our prayer book.
Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam gam yachad.
Well, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Peninsula Temple Bethel. It's so great to see so many familiar faces and new faces here in our sanctuary. Tonight, we are marking the month of Pride here at PTBE, and we're marking the month of Pride in a few ways. Our Peninsula Jewish community is organizing a group to attend the Pride March in San Francisco together next Sunday. Our young families had a special celebration today with our teacher Allison Levy. And tonight we're going to be reflecting during this Shabbat service on themes of pride, LGBTQ plus inclusion, and its intersection with Judaism. And I am so thrilled to share the Bima tonight with our student rabbi, Alyssa Feigelson, and have her lead us in songs, prayers, and a sermon that will all speak to themes of pride. One of our teachers here at PTBE, Meg Adler, shared that Pride Month for her has parallels to the month of Elul, the spiritual time before the High Holy Days. This month encourages us to take account of our behavior from the past year. Did we use language that was inclusive of everyone? Did we support queer-owned businesses or artists? Did we publicly display images of pride? Did we educate ourselves through books and documentaries? Did we support our friends on their journeys to acceptance? Or maybe pride is more like the counting of the Omer, a time when we're invited to strengthen our character, take steps towards whatever that next phase of coming out might look like. Or maybe pride and Judaism intersect through themes of history, justice, and hope. We remember the first acts of courage from Stonewall Inn in June of 1969 and celebrate the progress that the LGBTQ plus community has made for us all, changing our nation to be accepting of everyone who is made B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God, allowing us all to dream about a better tomorrow. So this Shabbat will reflect, we'll remember, we'll learn, we'll sing, and we'll dream. And we begin, as always, by adding light and hope to this world with our Shabbat candles. And this Shabbat, we have a young man who's certainly dreaming and thinking about his future, Luke Young, a history buff in his own right, and he is celebrating becoming a bar mitzvah. We wish mazel tov to his mom, Catherine Nelson, his father, Tad Young, his brother, Sam Young, his entire family who's here. We are inviting you all to participate in the candle lighting. So we're on page 2 and 3. I invite you to bring a siddur up to the bima with you. And we're inviting Catherine Nelson, Rosalind Rock, Carol Starr, Holly Nelson, Tracy Young, Lizzie Menard, Allison Welch, Kristen Shively, Maggie Menard, Leslie Kane, Lila Jaffe, Lisa Kane, Parrish Walsh, and Evelyn Walsh. Basically, if you are a female in the Nelson Young family, please join us on the Bima. Pages 2 and 3 will read the poem at the bottom. Luke, why don't you join all these beautiful women of your family and stand with them as the proud bar mitzvah?
Where do we start?
We're going to do this one.
Okay.
Source.
So you're on.
Page 3. Okay, Luke, get ready in front of us. Okay. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leha'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Luke, we will see you later at the end of services. But for now, we want to invite Shabbat's spirit here into our sanctuary. And for those of you celebrating at home, we do so with the words of Lecha Dodi on page 20 and 21.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Tishmi'anu el hamichad Adonai echad Shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila Lecha Dodi Likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha Ki hi mekor habracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila Lecha Dodi Likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat shalom Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 5.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, lecha dodi,
verse 9, we turn and we face our sanctuary's entrance to let in the spirit of Shabbat. We sing together.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha u'betzola, toch emuneam segula, boi kala, lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, lekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, lekabela.
We remain standing and we turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, the prayer which invites us all into this intentional community of prayer. We sing together.
Lie, 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 lie. 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 Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We continue on page 32, thinking about this prayer called Ahavat Olam, everlasting love that we call God, yet with a new theme for this evening's Pride.
This is Love Wins, a Pride Prayer by Alden Solovey. One day, the words coming out will sound strange. Oppression based on gender or orientation will be a memory. History to honor and remember, the pain of hiding, repressing, denying, honoring the triumphs of those who fought to be free, remembering the violence and vitriol that cost lives. When love wins at long last, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself, will be as natural as breathing. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. One day, love will win every heart. Love will win every soul. Fear will vanish like smoke, and tenderness for all will fill our hearts. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love wins. In the end, love wins. All genders, all orientations, all people, all true expressions of the heart. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Let this come speedily in our day, a tribute to the many and the diverse gifts from heaven, a tribute to love, deep and true, each of us for one another. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. So another intention of putting together this service was to highlight some of the queer artists and liturgists that have contributed to Jewish music. Debbie Friedman, of course, being one of the founders of modern Jewish music. So as we sing her melody of the Shema, I want us to focus on this word echad, of one, of the spirit of bringing everyone together, united as one. We sing on page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. On page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We continue on page 40 with Micha Mocha.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Yalalai, 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. So something that came up a lot in my liturgy classes in rabbinic school was what language we use for God. The traditional choice, Adonai, Av Harachamam, Malkeinu, are all very masculine. They mean our Lord, our merciful Father, our King. We would discuss substitutes. A common one was Shekhinah, the term for God's closeness to us, which is often associated with the feminine. We would translate ruler instead of Lord, sovereign instead of king, parent instead of father. In the Hashkivenu, the song we're about to turn to next, the traditional liturgy is Vehamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim, raise us up, our king, to life, referring to waking up the next day in the morning. However, in Mishkan Tefillah, our prayer book, you will see that it says Vehamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim, our guardian instead of our king. The Hebrew is sacred, but it is not etched in stone.
We sing that prayer, cultivating a protector God, thinking about going to bed at night and waking up under that Sukkot Shalom, that shelter of peace. We sing Hashkivenu on page 42 and in our supplement.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkeveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkeveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu
So our prayer book, even with changes to our liturgy, only gives us some understandings of our personal relationship with God, which is why we take time in each service to stand for the Amidah and enter a personal conversation with God, leaving the page and moving deep into our soul. We turn to page 46 and rise for this prayer, beginning with asking for intention.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Libnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Morid Atah. Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Nofli Berofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar. Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah Chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'kol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. And now I invite you to search inside yourself for prayer or doubt or love or hope or whatever it is you are bringing to this space, and connect silently. When you feel finished with your prayer, you may be seated. So earlier this week, I was away at a retreat, and I learned a new prayer from colleagues of mine that I wanted to share with you. It happens to be from a queer song leader named Allie Halpert, and her songs are written to support those moving through grief, praying for change, and connecting with the divine. And I was really struck by simple lyrics and a meditative chant of healing that I learned. I'd like to teach it to you now. Let's repeat after me. Loosen, loosen, baby.
Loosen, loosen, baby.
You don't have to carry.
You don't have to carry
The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
We'll put it all together from the top. Loosen, loosen, baby.
You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Here's part 2. Holy breath and holy name. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Will you ease this pain? We're going to keep singing, and Student Rabbi Alyssa is going to come around. If you are praying for someone for healing, I invite you to rise and share a name with her as we continue to sing. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain?
Today we are also thinking of Stephanie Leavitt, Marilyn Greenwald, Marcia Margolin, Francie Karp, Donna Spanger, Evan Bin, Lynn Edlinger, Larry Margolis, Gary Verbin, Larry Gurman, Rebecca Fraser, Marcel Fraser, Sherry Berenstein, Maxine Rogo, Perry Meskin, David Habib, Anna Tran, Jane Barker Haugen, Lev Heschel Ben Bat Ami, Suzanne Price, Carol Kleinman, Art Miller, Sergio Ribka, Ruth Reimke, Carol Penn, Jessica Bobson, Abdullah Ibrahim, Cindy Brines, Luis Eliscu, Dolores Gould, Tim Twomley, Elisheva Khana, Michael McNally, Helene Gagnon, Sophia Khana, Betty Nazarian, and Meg Martinez.
The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. We say refuah shlema, complete healing. At this time in our service, student Rabbi Alyssa is going to offer us her Devar Torah, her interpretation of Torah.
Shabbat Shalom. This week's Parsha is Behalotecha, which Luke will tell you all about tomorrow morning. But tonight, I just want to look at one line from the Parsha. Joshua runs up to Moses and tells him, 2 Israelites are acting as prophets. You, as our actual prophet, need to forbid them from acting that way. Rather than being upset, however, Moses responds, don't be upset on my behalf. Would that all of God's people were prophets, because God put a divine spark in each of them. The first question that arises from this text for me is, what does it mean to be acting as a prophet? It seems from context that they were not only offering prophecies, but also acting as leaders, potentially attempting to guide the Israelite people with their words. But nothing made them special to do so. God didn't choose them. They didn't have any magical visions or visitors. They just took it upon themselves to become leaders. Moses could have condemned them, saying they were usurpers or manipulators. Instead, he commends them for their actions and implies that they are qualified to speak as prophets, not due to godly intervention, but due to the innate divine spark that is within all of us. Which brings me to today, our Pride Shabbat. Today, most people know Pride as a celebration, rainbow floats and corporations changing their logo on Twitter for 1 month. But the first Pride was a riot. After the Stonewall riots in 1969, 4 individuals planned the first ever Pride March in New York: Craig Rodwell, Fred Sargent, Ellen Broidy, and Linda Rhodes. It took place in 1970, and there was very little resistance from onlookers. They proposed that it happen annually and encouraged LGBTQ leaders across the country to join in and start their own marches. These 4 people sparked a movement that took off internationally, and yet we don't really know their names. I know I didn't until I Googled them. They weren't famous, they weren't uniquely qualified, but they saw potential in these annual marches. Could they have known that these marches and celebrations of visibility could lead to widespread acceptance? They acted as prophets, using nothing but their own divine spark of inspiration to step up and effect long-lasting change through relatively small action. While we have made progress and deserve to celebrate our strides, we cannot forget the heartbreaking tragedies still facing the queer community today. As of 2021, it was reported that 2/3 of queer individuals have experienced a hate crime targeting their identity. 70 countries around the world still criminalize same-gender relationships. In 2020, the Human Rights Campaign announced that more transgender people had been murdered that year than in any other year they had recorded, leading to them to announce an epidemic of violence that disproportionately targets Black trans women. So why am I telling you these grim statistics? Pride is a time to celebrate, but we cannot put aside the violence and the fear that plagues us year-round to pretend for 1 month that we have achieved equality. But that isn't to say that there's nothing we can do about it. We all have that divine spark of inspiration within us. We can all act as prophets. We can call our representatives about these issues. We can vote in ways that support the people who are the most marginalized in our communities, the people who we may not even realize are in our communities. We can donate to organizations like the Trevor Project, which offers crucial mental health support to queer people and educates on social issues that affect queer individuals. We can show up to support and respect our queer friends and neighbors, from something as small as adding our pronouns and our name tags and on Zoom screens to make it just a little easier for someone who is trans to feel comfortable adding theirs. We all have the power to make this world a more welcoming, more loving, and more accepting place. So let's be prophets and make this happen. Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach, student Rabbi Alyssa. Really, not just for your words, your prophetic voice, but for sharing the Bima with you, for adding your music, your inspiration for this service. It's been really fun, and I look forward to seeing more of you on this Bima over the summer. So now I'm going to call up someone else who's feeling really proud of you. He happens to be our temple president, Roger Feigelson.
You won't be able to say I'm your temple president for much longer. The clock's ticking. But thank you so much for such a wonderful service, Rabbi Lisa. Rabbi Lisa, baby Rabbi Alyssa. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And first of all, big thank you to Steve Diamond. He was originally going to do the announcements tonight, and I wrestled them away from him after he'd already written them all up in a font size I can actually read up here without my glasses. And you didn't include 30 pages of COVID statistics, so it was all good. It was all good. So first up, this Sunday, we've got our Sunday Sandwich Hevra back. It's both here or at home. And what time is it, Lori? 10 o'clock, right in there in Fellowship Hall. And then the next thing, which is very near and dear to my heart, is the annual meeting on June 23rd at 6:30 right here. It will be my last address to the congregation as your president. Actually starting to get emotional as the date gets closer. So hopefully someone will show up. I mean, if nobody does, it's okay. It's all right. Except if we don't have a quorum, then we can't vote on the new slate, which means you'll be stuck with me. And I'll be stuck with you. So let's, to everybody's benefit, let's come to the meeting. Plus, Steve Sarver will be here. We'll talk about the budget for the next year. We're going to give out some awards to congregants. It's the usual, but it's a great opportunity just to get together. So please do come. And then on Sunday, June 26th, Road Fade Tzedek is doing their next garden work day at 11:30 p.m. here in the garden.
AM.
What did I say?
PM.
That's late, and I don't think we have lights on that side. So, 11:30 a.m. No experience necessary. They're going to be planting food and organic crops. If you have questions, Rebecca Schwartz can answer them. And then also on the 26th, we're meeting at the Millbrae BART station at 10 a.m. You can join PTBE and the PJCC and other congregations as they go up to San Francisco for the Pride March. You can also contact Rebecca Schwartz for that. Good luck, since those are two things are at the same time. And then lastly, I would just like to offer my sincere mazel tov to the Nelson young Nelson. I promise I wouldn't heckle the B Mitzvah family tonight. And Luke, you're going to do an amazing job. Just hold on to it because it goes really fast. So just cling to it. But I can tell it's going to be amazing. So mazel tov and Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, and thank you. We are on page 282.
282. As you may have noticed, we don't sing Aleinu often here anymore. The language in the Aleinu is a language of chosenness, which makes people uncomfortable for pretty valid reasons. I, however, like to interpret the chosenness in the Aleinu as one of reciprocity. The word Aleinu literally means it's on us. It's on us to choose Judaism. Every day in America, we choose to be Jewish. Sure, it's who we are. There's not much of a choice in that. But what we make a choice about is actively to participate in Jewish life and in Jewish culture. For me, the Aleinu is Judaism reaffirming that it chooses us back. We are special and unique because of our choice, not because of God's. For me, chosenness is pride in my Judaism, and I don't think that's arrogance necessarily. It's similar to my perspective on queerness. We don't choose to be queer, but we can choose to embrace our identities and to be proud of it, to celebrate that pride and to celebrate our choice in life and to live our authentic lives. So please join us on page 282 in the bottom right-hand corner to sing the Aleinu, a celebration of our pride in ourselves.
And please rise. Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, la'atek u'ladar otzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo osamanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 287. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz Bayom hahu, Yihye Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. So we are going to remain standing as we transition in our prayer from thinking about us as one people to acknowledging that there are people here in our community within us who have loved and lost, who are remembering those who they have lost recently, or who are here thinking about those who they have lost at this time in years past. So this Shabbat, we are remembering Robert William Bertolina, Louis Hirsch, Hal Stein, Roma Auerbach, Rabbi Aryeh Strakovsky, and Rebecca Porter. This Shabbat is also the yahrzeit of Lillian Alexander, Milton Blank, Leslie Cohen Berlovitz, Riva Cole, Richard Fashov, Ruth Flesher, Theodore Fox, Albert Korn, Eileen Lau, Jackson Loudenbach, Elizabeth Lee, Bert Miller, Mona Ostro, David Pastor, Ruth Ann Patterson, Jason Perlman, Erica Reckness, Gary Reckness, Betty Roos, Bob Rosenberg, Bob Rosachan, Beverly Rosachan, Joseph Seltzer, Ida Sosnick, Jeff Starr, Marjan von Wheel-Gross, Martin Weinstein, and Seymour Zins. If there is a name that I left off this list, or you're remembering someone you want to share out loud, or a name that I mispronounced, feel free to say it out loud as I look around our sanctuary. For the names we read out loud and shared out loud, and the names we always think of as we recite these familiar words, we say Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shmei Rabbah, be'amad divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon u'v'yamachon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya, yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'gudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. We say zikronam livracha, may their memory be for a blessing. Amen. So we turn back to Luke, our bar mitzvah, who's going to add sweetness to this Shabbat with some wine and challah by saying Kiddush and Motzi. He is on page 4 or 5? 4, thank you. Come on up, 5. Come on up to the bima.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'avratzon yichlaltanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu racharta v'tanu kirashta mikol halami v'shabbat kodsecha ve'ahava uratzon Inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Hi.
Yeah, get a big sip of that grape juice. Yum. All right, let's bless this challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
You can actually have this full challah.
Great.
Maybe you want to eat it tomorrow morning for breakfast or share it with your family or your cousins. We're going to see you here at 10:30 to celebrate. Our community is so proud of you, and we will see you then. And we are proud as a community. Thank you for being here to acknowledge how everyone belongs here at PTBE. We're going to sing that song of peace that again brings us all together. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. Count it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sing it.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us outside for some more Shabbat treats and see you soon.